Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here with another Friday Reads. This is going to be a quick one today because I have to get out the door. I am helping a friend pack up for a move, and at noon I'm going into town for a lunch to celebrate my neighborhood book group's 200th book. Now, I haven't been with them since the very beginning, but I have for like the last 15 to 20 years. I'll have to look back. I remember the first book I read with them, so I'll have to look back and see when that was. But I've been with them for a long time, so this is a nice celebration. We're having lunch at a nice restaurant in town, and I'm looking forward to that. So, quickly, what I've been reading. Well, last night I just finished A Blizzard of Polar Bears by Alice Henderson. I thought it was perfect for the season. Delaware just got its first snow in 2 years, so the atmosphere was perfect. This takes place in the Canadian Arctic. It's book 2 in her series about Alex Carter, a wildlife biologist. Book 1 was The Solitude of Wolverines, which I read this past fall and absolutely loved. I never wanted it to end. In fact, it made my list of top 10 novels of the year because I was just so engrossed in it and was sad when it ended. Book 2 was just as good. It is both of these books really, but I think especially this one, they're just non-stop action. Alex gets sent up to Manitoba, Canada, small town called Churchill on the Hudson Bay. So way up in the Arctic, she is hired to do a polar bear study. And it starts out the way any of her studies would, although this one involves helicopters because they have to get out to where the ice is solid. Very much like the Wolverines, the bears are very solitary, and so they helicopter out looking for tracks, trying to find where there is a bear. When they find one, they tag it and take some scientific measurements, etc. So it starts out pretty normal, but very quickly, as I'm finding is the case with these books, very quickly things start to go wrong. It seems that a wide variety of people are trying to stop the study and possibly even kill Alex. So it is non-stop action, fabulous suspense, hard to put down, and I very much enjoyed it. Definitely going to continue this series. I just gave my husband A Ghost of Caribou, book 3, for Christmas, and I hope to read that too. And what I started last night is As They Were by M.F.K. Fisher. This is a classic. I have never read her before, but she's been on my list for a long time. She is best known as a food writer. This is a book of essays, and so far the first one is about her childhood, and not necessarily with a focus on food, but she said her goal was to write about her childhood, not as an adult looking back, but as the way she saw things as a child, which I think is fabulous. I've considered doing that before. So far, I'm only in that first section or chapter. It's a collection of essays, but I'm really enjoying her writing. She's really capturing what it feels like to be a child. And that part is set in California where she grew up, but I know from reading about the book that there are some parts that are set in France, and what she's renowned for, her food writing, does come into play in here. So I had hoped to get to this for Nonfiction November and ran out of time, but this works out perfectly because it's a great fit for the Mardi Gras readathon. Part of it is set in France. It is about food, so I'll be able to tick off 2 boxes in the Readathon Bingo. Information about that down below. And on audio, I just finished listening to Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I loved this book, and it was so good on audio. There are 3 different narrators in the book. Tova, an older woman who is widowed and has also lost her son when he was only 18 years old, and recently lost her brother as well. She's very isolated and lonely. She works nights cleaning at the local aquarium in a small town in Washington. Another of the narrators is Cam, a young man about 30. And at the beginning, you don't really know why Cam's story is a part of this overall story. He's in California. His mom abandoned him when he was 9, and his aunt brought him up. And Cam is kind of at loose ends, and he really wants to find out who his father was, which he's never known. And finally, the 3rd narrator is the best of all, and that is Marcellus, a giant Pacific octopus that lives in the aquarium where Tova cleans. Marcellus's chapters are the best. He's great. He is very smart, as you might have guessed. It's just a wonderful story about loneliness and finding yourself and connections. Tova and Marcellus become an odd kind of friends. It's a wonderful, wonderful book and was excellent on audio. Definitely recommend that. That's our book club book for today, though I imagine since we'll be at lunch, we probably won't have much of a discussion about it, which is a shame because it's a good book for discussion. I have not yet chosen my next audiobook. I'm taking a little break. I only just finished that day before yesterday, and I'm catching up on my book podcasts, listening to the Book Cougars right now. So that's what I'm reading this weekend. I would love to hear what you're reading. Please let me know in the comments down below, and take a moment to like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel.